The respect tool rekindles our self-value and begins to remove the burden. And then there's the meditation tool. And this is an essential tool in any heart maintenance kit, because this tool shows us how to regularly check our own heart and see that the flow of true love in and out is regular. I need to be careful not to consume the negative thoughts that clog my love flow. So exercise for my heart consists of giving love to others. So maybe everyone's not come because of a broken romance. Our hearts can be broken in many different ways. Maybe someone died. We don't say died, usually we say left their bodies. But we must have all experienced something that was very, very uncomfortable. It's a sense of loss that makes us feel so heartbroken. A sense of loss. But a sense of loss, well, it's tricky to put absolutes on it for anyone. We're all different. It's easy to talk about things when it's not happened to you or isn't happening to you. You can always see the answer for other people because our emotions are not tangled in whatever's happened. It's when the emotions get caught up that we feel our heart could break. And so if we could look at some rules, there's the law, we could call it fate, or we could call it the law of karma. And you even know by an old Scottish saying that what's for you won't go past you. And you also know the law of karma, what goes around comes around. The law of energies, whatever is to happen to us is going to happen. And we cannot stop it. Because if we could stop people we love from dying, wouldn't we all be doing it? If we could have perfect relationships, wouldn't we all be having this? So when we look out into the world, do you see many of these perfect relationships? And also as time goes on, there's more and more karmic pulls, distractions. You also know what it feels like if someone close to you dies. Dramatic, awful, terrible. But the law of life is love. So somehow we have to search our hearts as to what we can do to love our own hearts so that we can go through whatever's coming in our lives, because we don't know what's coming. And if I'm developing habits of absolute heartache and heartbroken, then those habits will stay with me and get deeper and deeper. And every time I have a loss, even sometimes nowadays we might even think, why am I so heartbroken over a much smaller thing than I would have been heartbroken about before? I know that I used to think that. Oh, why is this affecting me when it's really not so big? It hasn't gone on for so long. There's not so much in it. But why am I devastated? Because we've got the habit of being heartbroken. And every time we go through it, I get a deeper habit of being heartbroken. My heart will break more and more, and I'll think that the object that's breaking my heart is responsible for my heartache. But I've created my heartache. A hard one to take, but if we just even begin to think a little bit about what's being said, it might soothe like an ointment on your broken heart. We get tangled up in our emotions and we have expectations. And quite often our expectations are unrealistic. Maybe the person that we're hanging all that on is not capable of being the hero that we want them to be, or the wonder that we want them to be. Because we're so tangled by emotions, we're not really looking at, can this soul, if I've plighted my troth here, can they fulfill all of these wonders? But there's many, many facets to this. Relationship is a two-way switch, two hands need to clap. If only one person is pushing and supporting a relationship, it is then not a relationship. It's a one person trying to make something that isn't happening on this other side. You have to look at that as well. There has to be some form of harmony, some form of acceptance. And if we've got time to think about these things now, this will help if you start to practice massive respect for another person and for yourself. And I mean massive. And unless I develop self-respect for myself so that I won't let myself go through that terrible trauma, although it will come because the emotions are already there, but I'll really, really deal with it as best I can to bring it down, take the pressure off so as I'm not so traumatized. Because what good is the trauma going to do me? If it's gone, and the trauma this side isn't going to bring it back. If someone's died, I can't bring them back even if I grieve forever. And what would I be grieving about? I should ask myself that. Would I be grieving because I'm heartbroken because I love that person so much? In that case, that means I experienced lots of love when I was with that soul. So why am I grieving for a gift that was given to me that I have inside me and memories that I have now that will last me forever? It doesn't make sense. So it's my emotions that are, and my feelings of loss that I'm keeping playing that record over and over again. Woe is me, this is dreadful, the pain is terrible. And it will be. No one's taking that away. It will be. It could be devastating. But do you want to make yourself ill? Yeah, you go through your natural bit, but after a while, I need to look at this in reality. Am I killing myself because of whatever's happened? I can't stop it, it's the law of life. I can't trail someone back, either from a relationship or from death. So I have an unrealistic take on things. I've built up a power of emotion that call it self-destruct. I'm breaking my own heart. And so I have habits of mourning. See, in Raj Yoga we look at birth after birth after birth, not just in this birth. We would have been going through this and developing these energy patterns and habits, and they be becoming strong in us. But to change any of these energy patterns, I need power. This is why we meditate. We meditate to change our lives. We meditate to change our sadness into happiness. And I can do that when I start to understand just how it is I need to do it. I need to understand this factor of the law of karma, the law of cause and effect. I've been mourning and mourning and mourning and sad for a long time. So every time something comes that is sad for me or threatening for me, that energy pattern kicks in. And I have to go through that trauma. And I'll go through it until I find something else to fill that gap. I'll probably look for a similar thing, maybe not even knowingly. So it's because also I have the habits and I'm misusing some of these habits. And I want to use them, and I feel I can only use them in these particular situations. And so I look for some way to have those similar situations again. Just why some people become addicted to relationships. I can't live without love. I can't live without speaking to someone. I can't live without support. I can't live without being admired. I can't live without being on a pedestal, or I can't live without worshipping someone. So if I can begin to understand that I'm way down the same track again, so when something happens there, I'll be devastated. I'll be more devastated than I was before, because I've deepened all the emotions. What am I going to do? I just need to understand myself and my needs. And I really do need to understand that I can change my dependencies and my dreaming in the wrong way, hoping in the wrong way, because if I'm developing a huge energy pattern of loss, then something new comes along, and at the back of my mind, I'm looking for the loss. So how can it succeed? It means I will develop jealousy, all sorts of different feelings, of resentment and fear. I'll challenge and I'll nag and I'll niggle, and because I'll be scared that the same thing will happen again. And so it's not start for success, even from day one. I need to change myself if I want to stop the broken heart. And for that I need to know how my emotions work. And all our emotions work pretty much the same. We've maybe all got different faces and different ages and different names, different jobs and different nationalities and different religions, etc. But when it comes to the bit, all our emotions work in the same way. All our human feelings are the same. And so do I want to keep traumatizing myself? And you'll find that because it's quite deep, this scenario of being heartbroken, you can even be heartbroken over tiny little things to the same extent, huge. Yes, we have to live our lives, and yes, we have to go through, and we know that it's not heaven. It's not going to be a journey of laughing and karaokeing all the time. It's going to have its other side. But what can I do? I need to reduce by understanding myself, how I work, and not let myself get carried away, and keep things in balance and harmony, and give myself, first of all, massive self-respect. Don't think that I was useless or worthless, or why did this happen to me, or woe is me, oh, how can I not be successful? Because it's feelings of loss, non-success. But it's not true, because it's happening to everybody on the planet over and over every day. And it doesn't mean we're all worthless. It just means that we're taking that burden and sticking in the pain and making it heavier over and over. When I start to have that feeling for myself of mercy on myself and respect for myself, but also, depending what the situation was, just giving thanks for the things that were great, because I've now got all that greatness inside me from that. What did I get from that? I maybe learned new skills. Maybe quite a lot of things. That's the things I'm losing. That's the things I'm missing. But appreciate what I receive, not what has gone. Because if I've received it, it's in there. And then start to give respect to the other side of the coin, whoever or whatever situation had to change. Sometimes the other soul could be suffering also. But the law of life is saying it's time for that to happen. Separation. Sometimes maybe people don't really want that, but some pool of this karmic energy is saying that's it, time to move on. So whatever it is, I need to know how to deal with it. Respect for myself, respect for other people is really the method. Remember, relationship is everything, which means giving respect. The same respect you give to yourself, you can give to other people. 2 hands to clap. If someone is always dissatisfied, pulling away, it's not a relationship. So pick up the signals. It's not a relationship. Relationship is when people try to build and understand each other. So instead of sort of holding on to something that isn't working, you have to start to look at it for what it is. So you look at yourself. Meditation is an essential tool in any heart maintenance kit. I need to be careful not to consume the negative thoughts that clog my love. Exercise for my heart consists of giving love to others, and remember, you're a soul, you're peace, power, love. You're actually not a physical body, but you're the living life energy in your physical body. And so is everyone else. You're a soul, you're peace, power, love. You're a soul, you're peace, power, love. You're a soul, you're peace, power, love.
Sitting quietly, my body calm, relaxed, and still. I turn inwards. I know that my eternal identity is not of my physical costume. My physical body is simply an instrument that I use at this moment for a little while. I would like to find out more about the being that is actually operating this physical instrument. In the quietness, I can feel the source of life shining, radiating light in the center of my forehead. I come back to the identity of my eternal self. This is who I am. And no matter how my body may change, no matter how the circumstances of life may change, no matter how relationships change, or even how the world changes, I am eternally a being of light. Within all the changing factors of the universe, I am constant. I am a point of light with peace, with love. I am the source of life itself. Turning inwards and discovering myself I realize how I had become a stranger to myself. I had forgotten myself, and so I had not been able to love myself. And now, discovering myself, I begin to make friends with myself. I acknowledge the value of my own existence, the beauty of my own being. I once more begin to love myself and respect myself.